Hey, it's actually really quiet today. I'm surprised. Yeah, it's really quiet. Normally the the bars are moving even when I'm not talking with the background noise. But today, when I stop talking, everything goes down. Hey, everybody! Welcome to another episode of Bedroom Talk podcast. Last week, I called the podcast uh, Juxtaposed Podcast. That was a mistake. It's because the Juxtaposed Podcast was one of the working titles for the podcast. Why was it called Juxtaposed Podcast? Uh, hey, okay, hold on. Why was it called Juxtaposed Podcast? Because Juxtapose uh, used to be something that I was a part of. I still think I'm a part of, but used to be something else that I was a part of. And as a uh, what can I call it? A teaser. As a teaser for our potential next guest. You see, I said what I was gonna say. Okay, what's going on? Something is wrong with how I'm speaking. The words are coming out skew. Oh, but we know most that I struggle. Anyway, as a teaser for my next guest, actually, next guest, my potential next guest. Uh, my next guest has to do with juxtapose in a very big way. In a very big way. So look, stay tuned for. I'm not gonna say who it is. So this is me teasing you and baiting you guys to come back next week. Yeah. So how's everybody's week been? My week has been okay. What happened? What happened? Should I go on the internet and find out what happened? Because I'm asking you guys questions. What happened? And there needs to be an interaction between me and whoever's listening to this. The 5 people who listen to this podcast every week. I appreciate you guys. I see every time I upload the podcast, like 5 people every time. It's as if and you know yourselves, 5 people. And I want to say I appreciate you guys. To me, I've already made it. That's that's all I need. And I can tell you guys, if you remember on the first episode, I said that I want to have female listeners on the podcast. I think I achieved that when I look at the stats. This is about 47% female, and I think about 42 or 41% male, and then the rest is unspecified or non-binary. So females are taking the lead, which I appreciate, the ladies. So if there's 5 people listening, hey, we're gonna do the maths now. If there's 5 people, okay, let's make it 6 people, so the math is easier. So if 6 people, 3 of them are ladies. So ladies, you know yourselves, the 3 of you guys, and you guys, I appreciate all that you do. 3 of you guys, I want to know you guys personally by name, so that next time when I do the podcast, I can say, hey, and greet you guys individually. Hey, you who are listening now, you are part of that 3. Okay, so there's 3 girls listening to my podcast, and then there's 2 guys listening. Away, my gents. I appreciate you guys. And then we have one person who's either non-binary or didn't say, would rather not say, or other. Oh, yeah. Okay. I appreciate you too. I need to know more, you know, because it's just you. I can just greet you, and if I want to relate to something to you, be like, hey, yeah, whoever your name is, right? And then you can text me back. Okay, let's go on the internet. I don't know. I think this might be a bad idea for me to go on the internet. But remember, Everything I say is important in this podcast. You need to pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, because I had said that this is going to be a low budget experience. Low budget isn't always necessarily money. Doesn't mean I'm not spending money on this podcast. To be frank, I spent a lot of guala on this podcast. For me, it's a lot of money. Okay, for me, I spent a substantial amount of money on this podcast. I think I spent the most amount of money that I've ever spent on one thing on this podcast. On one thing. Have I spent much on an outfit? No. Maybe. Because shoes are expensive, so maybe. Maybe I spent as much as I did on an outfit, but I doubt. But an outfit is, an ensemble, a combo. So it's different things coming together. Yeah, I would say I spent the most. This is the most amount of money I've spent on one thing. The podcast. Anyway, on the internet. I'm not gonna go on the Twitter. Although I'd love for you guys to hit me up on the Twitter at BedroomTalk underscore. Let's go through the internet. I'm on Reddit. Some of you guys might remember the amazing things that come out of Reddit. The last time I was on Reddit, I was with my buddy Sherlock Holmes. Shout out. I wish shout out had 3 syllables because I almost said shout out in 3 syllables. So I was gonna say shout out. I was with my friend Sherlock Holmes. Shout out. I think that should be it. I don't like the 2 syllables. Shout out. Shout out. I was with my friend Sherlock Holmes. Shout out. Reddit. I'm not gonna go through something that has a picture or visual. So we will. Okay. What's trending? Okay, I'm seeing pictures of dogs. Um. Hey. Okay, this one's gonna be heated. Let's get into this one. This is a post on Reddit trending. The name of the subreddit, if you're interested, is True Off My Chest. True Off My Chest. I'm guessing this is just people, speaking up truth from their chests. And this is what's trending. Stop. Wait, let me prepare, because okay, now I'm cool. Stop trying to force me to use neo pronouns. I'm not doing it. Uh don't step away if this triggers you. Uh don't step away. Let's listen. Maybe there's some good points here. True Off My Chest. Let's listen to who's this? Okay, they don't have their real name. Stop trying to force me to use neo pronouns. I'm not doing it. I saw a video of a person who put like 15 different neo pronouns for themselves, and I'm sorry, but there is no way I will remember your every little pronoun. Uh, if you don't like he, him pronouns, I'll call you a she. Don't like she, her pronouns, I'll call you him. Don't like either of them, I'll call you they. But I'm not bending over and spreading my ass crack to not offend you and call you Jem, Zen, kitten self, etc. Thank you for listening to my little rant. Anyone who would like to educate me, please do so in the comments. Okay, the last part, you know, the fact that they're willing to get educated. It's important that they also, yeah. I think this lines up with all the things that I've been saying in the past few weeks. If you don't know, you don't know. It's not okay for you to be punished or crucified, or my hybrid word, punified, for what you don't know. So, with that, it's the same, dog. For the fact that they said, what's it? Let me go back. Don't I want a person put up like different, 15 different near pronouns. So for the fact that someone puts them up, that's them trying to educate whoever's trying to communicate with them, you know? Because you don't need to know any of these pronouns if you're not going to communicate with someone like that. But if the mere fact that there's people like that out there, uh, if you want to communicate with them, you can learn. At the same time, though, We can have a discussion about whether you are supposed to or whether it's a choice for you as well. The communicator. Okay, no, that's confusing. For example, this guy, whoever wrote this, his name is Red White T. Whoever wrote this, do they have to use the pronouns or is it their choice? Plenty would say they have to because if they want to communicate with the person in the first place. Uh, yeah, I also don't have an answer for that. It's not fair to say they have to. It's not fair also to. Okay, now it's not fair to say they have to. I think, especially if they're not educated about the matter. For me, or for most people, it would be easy. Okay, Zen or kitten. But also the other thing that this guy mentioned was where is it? Don't like him. They he him pronouns. I'll call you she. Don't like she her pronouns. I'll call you him. Don't like either of them. I'll call you they. That's what I know. I actually use they. I actually use they when I'm referring to a person that I don't know. At first, I used to use it when I was referring to like a name. I would find the person's name on a group chat or something, and the name is a what unisex name. I would use it for that, but now I don't. It's they the whole time until they actually say I'm she, I'm he. Wait, why do I sound like I have auto tune? Am I recording this in auto tune? What's going on? Oh no! Every time okay, I think I'm going crazy. Nah, I'm cool. I'm cool. No auto tune. For some reason, it sounded like I had auto tune. I think it still does. Ah ah. What's going on? Oh my god, what's going on? Why do is it me? Or do I really sound like that? Oh my god. Okay, I don't. If it's auto tune, it's auto tune. What am I gonna say? Anyway, yeah, back to that post by that person. Yeah, so I use they. I think that's the best for everybody, really, because they isn't specific. You know, they used to put he and she or her or everything. It used to put he or she under one umbrella and it would be they. So I say everybody join the umbrella. You know, we can't make another umbrella. Okay, I get everybody. We are one. We are one blood. We are one. Okay. So I would say that's my 2 cents anyway. I would say everybody get on that umbrella, with the he's and the she's, and everybody can have their own. That's fine. But if the umbrella doesn't change, you can't change the name of the umbrella. Everybody was cool with the umbrella. The umbrella is they. Everybody's they. Okay, and then if you come in with your unique one, that's fine. That's personal. It nothing to do with everybody else. So you can join the umbrella. No problemo. Just we can't change the name of the umbrella. They. If you don't know, until you get educated, of course, they is like a precaution. And then they tell you what's going on, and you can come with the kitchen plus. Okay, enough about that. You see, now I'm reaching now. I'm coming in with the news. Let's see this one. Okay, I'm not gonna. I don't want to get into politics. Was that politics though? With the she they Zen Osama issue. If I could pick my own pronoun, neo pronoun, it would be Zen Osama. If you know, you know. Zeno or just Zeno, not with an X though, with a Z, Zenoh, Zeno. Hey, Zeno. Blah blah blah. Here's another interesting thought. This subreddit is called Shower Thoughts. Wood will probably be considered a luxury building material like marble when we colonize other solar systems or other star systems. Sorry. Yeah, that's not that interesting. Okay, now I'm certain that there's auto tune on my voice. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, why is there a filter on my voice? I'm gonna leave it. What am I gonna do? Sounds if it sounds good, it sounds good. Whatever. On to the next one. That shower thought was boring. So I was on the internet, like where I live. By the way, I live on the internet. Okay, so I was on the internet where I live, and I stumbled upon this dude who he has a YouTube channel. I wish I could plug you guys. Let me see if I can. This guy has a YouTube channel, and he is blind, cannot see. Right? I'm trying to. Let me see if I can find him. He's an old white guy. He's blind, and he was born blind. You know. There we go. The name of the YouTube channel is the Tommy Edison Experience. That's actually a dope name. Tommy Edison, Edison Edison Experience. The Tommy Edison, Tommy Towmy. You can check this guy out. It's very interesting stuff that he does. And what's funny is his most recent video, Steve. Wait, what? Oh, I thought it was an interview with Stevie Wonder, but it's like Stevie Wonder isn't blind. The name of the title. Okay, question mark. Stevie Wonder isn't blind? Question mark. That's the title of his most recent video. Check this guy out. It's very interesting. So, what I want to talk about is something that I had discussed actually with someone previously. Was that this guy says he was born blind, right? He was born, but it doesn't say he was born blind, and the YouTube channel is him, his experiences as a person that was born blind. You know, basically the title of the channel is self-explanatory. His experience as a person that's born blind, because it's considered impolite for you to ask all those questions to a person that's blind. You know, what's it like when you're this? What's it like? What's it like with that? They probably answer those questions so many times. So this guy comes on YouTube and is like, I'm going to answer all these questions. The most interesting thing that he had answered was the issue of color, color, like they spell it in America. The issue of color, how he like what color is to him, like until you actually think about it, this dude, he says he cannot fathom what color is. Like, what is color? You know? Because since he was born blind, he does like his blindness isn't like blur or anything like that. It's as if he was born without eyes. So he cannot perceive light. Oh, if we take it that step further, we can like he cannot perceive light. And light is color, really. So so yeah, that's something that got me thinking for a really long time. And I saw this guy's videos a long time ago, but I still think about that thing now. And they were trying to explain to me. He says he's had people try to explain to him what light is. You know how there's warm colors. You know, if you mix these two colors, you get that. Blah 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 blah. And he just couldn't get it. You know, with the sun. Do you know how this? They tell him that when you're outside, you can feel the sun on your skin. You know that there's a color to that. It's hot. When you touch ice, you know, it's cold. That cold color, blue, sort of, you know. Yeah. But if you actually think about how would you try and understand what color is, there's literally no way. There's literally no way. Until I saw another YouTube video. Okay, I'm gonna plug. I'm gonna plug my I said I live on the internet, and I'm gonna plug my friends on the internet. Another video by Vsauce. You can look up Vsauce on the internet. Let me get the spelling proper. I'm plugging you guys. If you get on these channels, you're gonna be like me. If you get on these channels, you won't have to listen to the podcast anymore, unless I have guests. Vsauce is VSAUCE. Vsauce. So this guy is a scientist, and he answers a bunch. He delves into plenty of stuff that you might be wondering about to know that. So I had watched The Blind Guy, and then I started watching Vsauce. And Vsauce had a similar thing he was trying to explain about light. I think he was talking about something else, and then he got into light. If you watch the channel, you'll understand how he just goes on these tangents, and they lose, and then he comes back to his main point. How the only reason we can't, the only reason Tommy Edison can't perceive light is because our language lacks that level of communication. We lack that level of communication. That's the only reason really we cannot explain what color is to another person. Language, any language in the world. And you find that that's true because there's some countries where, or some languages rather, where you'd have one word that would describe a group of languages or group of colors in English. I can't give you like examples, specific examples, but for example, they would have red, orange, purple, similar colors like that, and they would have one word for that color. And if anything is, you know, but somehow there'd be a prefix or a suffix that would tell you whether that is a pink or purple or whatever, where you can associate that prefix with something else. And like, okay, he's talking about purple, he's talking about pink. You know, that's very interesting. Come on, man. Am I boring or am I boring? Language, because there are no words to describe color, because we assume that everybody can see. Okay, let me take it a step further. Come on this journey with me, please. And I'm not high, by the way. Imagine if I was high. I need to get mushrooms and do the podcast. So, here's another thing. Now, imagine, you remember, you can tell that I have a huge interest in these things. When I was speaking to Sherlock Holmes about underwater breathing, underwater breathing, I had said that I would use that superpower to go deep in the ocean and find those fish that couldn't see. If you remember that. And then we debunked that because of the water pressure, blah, 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 blah. So, what I was talking about there is something I had also seen somewhere, of course, about these fish deep, deep in the ocean that never had to develop eyes. Now, this depends on which side of the boat you're on, if you know what I'm about to say. So, if you believe in evolution, right? If you believe that, not necessarily, okay, yeah, evolution in general, how we adapt as animals, as human beings, we adapt to our surroundings. That's why we all look different, That's why these people have different shaped noses, different shaped feet. And here's another trivia. I'm going into too many levels now. I'm gonna get lost. I don't know how you guys are gonna remind me. Here's another interesting thing. Apparently, the reason the African man is well endowed, or yeah, well hung, is because the African woman would make it difficult for them to mount them. That's funny. yeah, the African woman would have an extended what's it called? Gluteus maximus. Maximus. Email me and correct me if I'm wrong. So the female body would have a large rear. So the over the years, the male uh, mating instrument would have to gradually elongate in order for the mating process to be a success. That's just trivia. So anyway, so if you believe in that kind of thing, you know how we have to adapt to our surroundings. We have eyes because we have to see. We can walk because we need to walk and travel. You understand? So if there's something that we don't need to survive, more especially, we will not have. We don't have. A dog's nose is better than our nose because they needed more to find food because the animals, they more recently were hunters, were wild. So they still have that strong sense of smell. Over time, as dogs become more domesticated, they will lose that sense of smell. If you believe in that thing, and it's been proven, so I don't know why I keep saying if you believe in it. So there's fish deep in the ocean where there had never been light forever, throughout history, throughout time. There's a place deep enough in the ocean where light has never reached, but life is there. There's life. There's fish down there. So those fish never really had to develop eyes, sight. They never needed sight. You understand? So they probably have other forms of sensing what's near them and finding food, anything you smell or whatever, or radar or whatever. I don't know. Like that kid that used to make sounds to see like a bat. And yeah, so I was interested in those fish who never had to develop eyes to see because they never needed to see. Now imagine if you were that fish and for the first time you start seeing. It, it's not like something you've never seen before. You've never seen before. That's the thing. The fact seeing is what you've never had. Imagine. I think you would die, really. I think you just die. Your brain would be overwhelmed and it would freeze and you'd be a cabbage. That's what I think. Another interesting thing to think about. What if, how many senses do we have? Come on, let's count them. You know how I remember senses? That Jeremiah and 50 Cent song. For some reason, I remember doing senses at school. So it's taste, touch, sight, feel, and hearing, right? It's five senses. That's how I remember that there's five as well. How many senses do you have? Five. That Jeremiah and 50 Cent song. Look it up. It's a beautiful song. Jeremiah 50 Cent. 50 Cents. The name of the song is Five Senses. So I have five senses. Why do you have five senses? Sight to spot danger. Everything has to do with danger, really, and survival. You know, feeling danger. You know, we can argue about the sixth sense. How we can, for some reason, you can feel, man. You know, not necessarily physically feel, not love either. Like when you know when someone is looking at you, that's arguable though. Like when you're just chilling and someone is looking at you, for somehow you can just feel what's going on, or how you can sense commotion. You know, if shit is about to go down, it's about to pop. For some reason, you can sense that. That's very arguable. That's a sixth sense or whatever. So now I'm presenting to you this idea. Imagine what if we have these five senses because we need them? What if there are these other things that exist among us that pose no danger to us as human beings, and they neither do they benefit our survival? So we never really had to develop anything to identify these other spaces or entities or worlds or uh, you know, things. Really, that's the most perfect word for them. Here's another example. Imagine if you didn't have your nose. Imagine if you couldn't smell. Did it? Wait, do we have smell in the five senses? Okay, I'm not gonna go back. Imagine if we couldn't smell, right? How would you describe a fart or the smell of a flower or the smell of anything? You wouldn't need smell. Actually, as human beings now, I don't think we actually need smell. To get food, we don't. We can eat without smelling. The important thing is the nutrition, really, if it comes down to it. But imagine if we never developed noses and someone was trying to explain to you that there's something that you can't see, you can't feel it, but you can smell it. It's there. It comes and goes. If someone farts, you know that they farted and you can smell the fart. And then it goes away, it's not there anymore. So this thing is real. Now picture something else like that. That we don't have the tools to identify. You cannot prove that there's no such. Neither can I prove that there is. Some would argue that taking drugs, hallucinogens, maybe even, but now weed doesn't make you hallucinate. Taking hallucinogens, that hallucinogens actually unlock those senses. So when you are on those hallucinogens and you start hallucinating and seeing all these things, you're not really seeing what's not there. You're seeing what's been there the whole time. But there's always been a filter on your eyes because you never really needed to see all these things. As soon as you take those hallucinogens, they remove the filter temporarily. And you start seeing all these things that you think it's all in your head, but come to find it, it's actually real. And then it goes away when the hallucinations fade off and you can't see it anymore. Some would also argue, okay, this is something totally different. Please watch Vsauce. You really enjoy the discussions there. Another thing would be if okay, I forgot. Oh no. What was I talking about? Hallucinogens, taking drugs, hallucinating, bollocks, I forgot. Come on. If we could hallucinate taking drugs, you can see all these things. Oh yeah, there we go. Another thing would be what if we don't see the same thing? This one is the most mind-bending one for me anyway. What proof do we have that what you see as round is what I see as round? Okay, now let me not talk about shapes, because shapes you can feel. Color goes back to color again. What if what you see as blue is not what I see as blue? But it is blue. But we don't see it the same. There's literally no way for you to know that your blue is the same as my blue. No way whatsoever. But it's blue. The way you see it, you say, okay, that's blue. And the way I see it, it's blue. And it's not it's not about that dress. And maybe it could be, that dress, gold and yellow. black and blue. It might be that as well. I think that's an example of how we don't see things the same. You have no way of knowing that my red is your red, bro. You describe it how you describe it. You can't describe it anyway. We already established that. There's no way of telling. And that whole thing that we see upside down, and then the image is reversed and put back to be, if you used an eye on its own without the brain, whatever it is that you see would be upside down because of the shape of the eye. But the brain takes that image and puts it on the other side, and then you perceive it as the right side up. What has this podcast become? I love it. I think I'm going to end here. I spoiled you guys with the guest on the first episode. It was a great guest, too good a guest. But I'm confident I can bring some more. Thank you guys for listening. I think this is where we're gonna end it. And these podcasts are not supposed to be this long. 30 minutes is how long they're supposed to be. If it gets juicy enough, we can go on for longer. But 30 minutes is the proper one, you know? Someone said to me today, shout out to Louise. Louise, I sent Louise a voice note. It was a 5-minute voice note explaining some computer stuff. And I was like, yo, Louise, I'm sorry the voice note was long. And Louise was like, dog, I was listening to you for an hour yesterday, bro. Louise was like, bro, I was listening to you for an hour yesterday, dog. Don't worry about it. This is nothing, bro. So shout out to Louise, man. Thank you for that. It's funny, though. How he said it was funny. It was like, dog. Please interact on the Facebook. No, man. On the Twitter. Hit us up on the Twitter. It's at BedroomTalk_P. No, BedroomTalk_, and then on Facebook. On Instagram. On Instagram, it's BedroomTalk_podcast. Okay, let's double check. Where's the telephone? Come on. On Instagram, it's BedroomTalk_podcast. Follow on Instagram for updates. I don't post much unless I get a photographer. Whoever is a photographer and is willing to photograph the Bedroom Talk podcast. Me sitting here by myself in my shorts with my legs up, not on the table, on one of my speakers. If you want to take pictures of that and show my feet, I think I have beautiful feet anyway. You are more than welcome. Send me your questions, preferably advice questions. I want to, comment on situations you're going through, situations you're facing, breakup advice, relationship advice. I will be your guru, Nostradamus. Okay, I still hear that auto-tune. I don't know why there's auto-tune. Okay, I think I should leave. Thank you for listening to the Bedroom Talk podcast.